Welcome to the deep dive. Today, we're really getting into what it takes to uh, set up and grow a psychology practice.
Yeah, it's quite a journey.
We're using Text and Gangset by Àlex Letosa Porta as our guide here.
Yeah.
Think of this as getting the inside track, learning the key stuff, and maybe dodging some common mistakes.
Exactly. And Letosa Porta, he's got this really interesting background, not just a psychologist, but also a speech therapist, educational director, an entrepreneur. He
Right.
started the Camina Center, taught at universities in Barcelona, won awards for innovation. So he's seen it from a lot of angle.
That diverse experience definitely comes through. He basically wrote the book he wished he'd had back in '99 when he started his first practice.
That rings true for a lot of people starting out, I think.
So your mission today, the learner, is to get a clear, practical overview. We want you to pull out those key insights, those aha moments, without getting buried in detail.
We're focusing on the big decisions, the likely challenges, and the strategies that actually work, trying to keep it efficient for you.
Okay, let's dive in. First things first, starting a practice. Where does Letosa Porta say you should, well, begin?
It really kicks off with thinking about your purpose, your vision. It's not just about hanging a shingle, you know?
Right. What needs are you actually trying to meet?
Exactly. What unique thing do you bring?
He talks about how important it was for him to narrow his focus early on. Education, learning disorders, parent guidance.
Yeah.
That was his starting point.
Yeah, and that makes sense. If you're specific, it's easier to deliver quality service and attract the right people.
And it seems deeply connected to looking inward first.
Totally. Reflecting on your own strengths, what genuinely interests you, your past experiences. Like his time as a school director really cemented his interest in relationships and education.
So it starts with what makes you tick.
Yeah, that's a powerful starting point for finding your niche.
But it's not just internal, is it? He also stresses looking outwards.
Oh, absolutely. Understanding the local environment. What are the actual needs in your community? He saw a need for family support when setting up the Camina Center.
So finding those gaps, those opportunities right where you are.
Precisely. That observation piece is critical.
Okay, so you've reflected, you've looked around.
Hmm.
What's the next step, according to the book?
Well, naturally, that leads into analyzing the market, really digging into it.
Understanding demand, competition, how you can stand out.
Exactly. You need a deep dive into who's already doing what.
So looking at competitors,
Yeah.
other local psychologists, centers.
Yeah, but not just knowing they exist. You need to analyze their services, what they charge, how they market themselves, what their reputation is like, really get into the details.
And he encourages looking beyond just the obvious competitors, right?
Yeah.
Finding unique value.
Yes, especially with innovation and technology. Things like online therapy, maybe AI-assisted tools, wellness apps, ways to differentiate yourself.
Interesting. And he touches on market saturation and AI, comparing it to the 2008 crisis. That sounds like a serious point.
It is. It's a reminder that the market can shift, and you need to be thinking about resilience and differentiation from the start. You can't just assume clients will appear.
So how do you bridge that gap from analyzing the market to actually building something sustainable?
Well, that's where the business plan comes in. It's presented as absolutely essential.
Yeah, sounds formal, but he frames it as the key to turning an idea into a real viable project, not just a document to file away.
Not at all. It's your roadmap. The book breaks it down, defining your actual business model, how you'll deliver services, make money.
Then the marketing and getting clients, that sounds vital.
Hugely. Digital marketing, SEO, that's search engine optimization, basically helping people find you online social media, but also the power of just doing great work, leading to word of mouth.
Can't beat good referrals.
Never. And then the financial side, that detailed plan.
Startup costs, ongoing expenses, income projections, cash flow, and how you're going to price your services. Seems like a lot to figure out.
It can be, but it's crucial for long-term health. And the book points out something helpful. There are often free public resources.
Oh, really? Like from local government?
Yeah, municipal, provincial, regional bodies often have support for new businesses. Letosa Porta even mentions his own positive experience with business plan competitions and getting mentorship. So help is out there.
That's good to know. Okay, so vision, market analysis, business plan developing. What's next in actually getting this practice off the ground?
Then you hit the legal and administrative side, the nuts and bolts of making it official.
Right, the less glamorous but absolutely necessary stuff. Permits, regulations.
Exactly. The book actually advises doing a viability study and some planning before you get bogged down in the bureaucracy. Make sure the core idea is sound first.
Makes sense. And choosing a legal structure, sole trader versus maybe a company.
Yeah, that's a key decision, especially if you think you might grow or bring in partners later. Different structures have different implications for liability, taxes, that sort of thing.
And registering with the official College of Psychologists sounds mandatory.
It is, but the book frames it as a benefit too. It guarantees you meet standards, gives you support, credibility, like a quality seal, plus legal and ethical advice.
So valuable beyond just ticking a box.
Definitely. Then you need your professional activity license, and absolutely crucial, professional liability insurance. You need that protection.
And in this day and age, data protection, like the LOPD he mentions.
Oh, absolutely non-negotiable. LOPD is the Spanish law, but the principle is universal. Registering your files, getting proper informed consent for handling client data, it's all about privacy.
Which flows right into taxes, doesn't it?
Yeah.
That often feels complicated for self-employed folks.
It can be. The book is a good overview, though. Things like registering for self-employment tax regimes, RITA in Spain, Social Security, understanding income tax, IRPF, and VAT.
Ah, VAT. He clarifies when healthcare is exempt versus when the 21% might apply.
Yes, and the practicalities, quarterly filings, deducting VAT on expenses, IRPF withholdings, different tax regimes like direct estimation versus modules.
So really understanding how the money flows and what your obligations are. And keeping good records, invoice requirements.
Meticulous records are key. And the book doesn't stop there. It also covers other legal duties.
Like
Civil liability, the absolute necessity of professional secrecy. He gives examples of potential confidentiality breaches, which are quite eye-opening, and informed consent again, especially with tricky situations like minors or separated parents.
it sounds like an area where you really need to stay updated.
Totally. Continuous legal training and understanding your digital responsibilities are vital.
Okay, phew. That's a lot on the legal and admin side. Once that's navigated, the book shifts focus.
Yes, towards the actual space, both physical and digital, creating the right environment.
This feels more creative, designing a welcoming therapeutic space. The psychology of the room itself.
Exactly. Soft, neutral colors, simple, meaningful decor, comfy but functional furniture, warm lighting, not harsh direct light. It's all about fostering safety and trust.
He mentions details like soundproofing for privacy, discreet entrance.
Yeah, those details matter. Even things like adding plants for a calming effect, arranging furniture to help interaction, maybe soft background music. It all contributes.
And the online space is just as important now, right?
Absolutely critical. The book covers the essentials. Secure video platforms like Zoom or Skype, but stressing the security aspect. Tools for booking appointments and handling payments Calendly, PayPal, Stripe.
And managing documents securely.
Yes, things like Google Drive or Dropbox, or specialized software like Simple Practice, but always with encryption, and communication tools like WhatsApp Business or Asana, while maintaining those crucial therapeutic boundaries.
What about combining both? Hybrid practice.
That's increasingly common. The book talks about adapting, maybe online for distance or convenience, in person for deeper emotional work. It's about flexibility and accessibility.
While keeping security and privacy paramount in both modes.
Always. And Letosa Porta shares how it helped his own work-life balance as a parent. It can really optimize things.
Okay, so legality's handled, spaces designed. How do you actually get clients in the door and build momentum? This leads to personal branding.
Exactly. And it's way more than just a logo. It's a conscious process, defining and projecting your unique professional image.
Highlighting your skills, your values, what makes you different, building trust.
Absolutely. And central to that is defining your message and knowing your target audience. Your message needs to align with your values. Specialization often helps here, plus being authentic and consistent.
How do you stand out, though? The book gives strategies.
Several. Finding your niche like Letosa Porta, combining psychology, speech therapy, education. Developing a unique approach, maybe integrating tech or innovation. Providing truly exceptional service.
And leveraging digital marketing, networking, creating a great client experience overall.
All those contribute to building that distinct brand that attracts the right people.
Which takes us neatly into digital marketing itself. Sounds like it's indispensable now.
Pretty much non-negotiable, according to the book. You need that online presence.
Starting with a professional website. Clear info, contact details, maybe a blog.
Yes, that's foundational. Then being active on social media, Facebook, Instagram, LinkedIn, maybe YouTube, but tailoring your content for each platform's audience.
He talks about separating personal and professional brands online.
Yeah, he shares his strategy for managing his own presence versus his center's brand. And he suggests considering professional help, mentioning a specific agency even.
What about specific strategies? SEO, again. Content, ads.
All key. SEO, so people find you. Creating valuable content, blogs, videos, infographics, using online ads like Google ads or social media ads, but ethically. And email marketing, building a list, offering value. He mentions his meditation podcast as an example.
Meditación es camino.
Yeah.
Offering something useful.
Exactly. And finally, harnessing the power of online reviews and testimonials. Google My Business, Dr. Alia. That social proof is huge.
Makes sense, but it's not all online, is it? Networking still matters.
Hugely. The book stresses building those professional relationships. It's your support network.
Colleagues, people in related fields, schools.
Yeah, access to resources, knowledge, opportunities. And it's active attending conferences, online groups, informational interviews. And it's reciprocal giving support as well as getting it.
Joining professional associations like the College of Psychologists fits here too.
Definitely. Staying connected, maintaining relationships, not being afraid to ask for help or offer it. It's about community.
Okay, so branding, marketing, networking. Let's switch gears to the money side again. Economic and financial management. Keeping the lights on.
Crucial stuff. Budgets and expense control are fundamental. An initial budget for startup and ongoing costs.
And setting fees. That sounds tricky.
It is complex. You need to consider the market, competitors, your specialization, perceived value. Letosa Porta actually advocates for transparency, like listing prices on his website.
That's quite direct.
It is. The book also stresses continuously monitoring expenses, making adjustments, maybe using financial management tools.
How do you actually establish your rates, though?
It involves reflecting on your experience and specialty, really knowing your market rates and competitors, deciding on types of tariffs per session, packages, evaluations, communicating them clearly, maybe offering some flexibility, and reviewing them periodically.
It all feeds into long-term sustainability.
Exactly. A clear vision, solid finances, focusing on client loyalty through great service, innovating, balancing work and life, and continuous professional growth. It's a whole package.
To manage all this day-to-day, the book talks about tools, software.
Yes, specifically patient and appointment management software. Automating tasks to be more efficient compared to, doing everything manually.
He gives Kalaman as an example.
Right. Highlighting things like user-friendliness, integrated scheduling with patient portals and reminders, secure clinical notes, automated billing, communication tools, support, even visibility features like a directory. And its paper-active patient model.
So tech can really help streamline things. What about professional support, like supervision?
Absolutely essential. Supervision for discussing cases, managing the emotional side. Team meetings, if you have them, and continuous training, not just courses, but reading journals, attending conferences, always questioning and refining your approach.
For the benefit of the patients, ultimately.
Always.
Starting out, though, it can be daunting. The book addresses those initial challenges, fears.
It does. The fear of not being perfect, those high self-expectations, it stresses allowing yourself to be vulnerable. And the importance of a support system, family, friends, colleagues.
And strategies for work-life balance come up again.
Yes. Setting boundaries, delegating, using tech for time management, self-care, having a backup plan for emergencies, and constantly reflecting on how you're doing.
How do you keep the motivation up, maintain emotional balance?
Staying connected to your why, your purpose, setting realistic goals, practicing self-care, he gives personal examples, building that positive network, continuous learning, and accepting that mistakes happen. It's part of growing.
Interesting. Now, the book even goes into thinking like a startup, for those maybe wanting to innovate or scale.
Yeah, it applies startup thinking to psychology, defines it not just as tech, but any project with significant innovation seeking market acceptance, new therapies, digital platforms, niche services.
It mentions funding, business angels.
Briefly, yeah. And developing the opportunity, identifying your competitive edge, the value you create, potential threats. Thinking through the business model, again, value prop, market, revenue, costs.
And really evaluating the market for that innovative idea. Risk, validation.
Crucial steps. Linking the idea to a real need, understanding risks, getting real customer feedback to reduce uncertainty, differentiating client versus end user.
Plus marketing, team building, and ensuring financial viability if you're going down that route.
Right. Evaluating financial soundness, funding needs. It even touches on how to approach an investor. It's definitely a more advanced strategy section.
Finally, Letosa Porta offers some reflections, some advice for people just starting.
He does. Key things like building that solid structure from day one, admin, marketing, finance, don't neglect those.
And reiterating the importance of marketing and visibility, not just being good clinically.
Yes, being active, creating content, also time management and work-life balance again, and the value of that support network.
And a final reminder.
Patience. Building a practice takes time. It's a journey, not a sprint.
Okay, so wrapping up this deep dive based on texting GangSat, what are the main things you, the learner, should really hold on to?
Well, I think it's clear it's a mix, isn't it? You need the clinical skills, absolutely, but also business sense, legal awareness, marketing savvy, and looking after yourself. It's multifaceted.
Yeah, the big themes seem to be planning, being adaptable, always learning, and definitely seeking support. It's about passion, yes, but also pragmatism.
Definitely. A blend of both.
So here's something for you to chew on. Out of everything we've talked about, the vision, the market, the legal stuff, branding, finance, well-being, what's the one area that really clicks with where you are right now or where you want to go?
And maybe think about one concrete step, just one small thing you could actually do this week to explore that area a bit more.
Because remember, building a practice isn't a one-off task. It's an ongoing process.
Keep learning, keep connecting with resources and your professional community.
Thanks for joining us for this deep dive. We'll catch you on the next one.